enters the next phase of returning to more normalcy. We don't know the full effects of COVID-19 and the stay-at-home order. That is until now. In today's CI Health, how to talk to your teens about their mental health. And joining me once again from Rhodes Wellness of Champaign and Danville, we have Carrie Offenstein hanging out with us. Hey, Carrie.
Heather, it's good to see you again.
Well, as well as you, let's talk a little bit. Last time we visited, we kind of talked about kids and preparing them for back to school in the fall. But let's talk a little bit specifically about teenagers and their mental health, kind of coping with everything that's been happening since spring.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important to talk about teenagers because, they really are in a different developmental group than kids. And not only that, but they really, they've missed a lot of things that are kind of unique to their age group and population, like their prom or their graduation or just big events that come towards the end or the beginning of high school and things like that. And so some of their grief over what they haven't been able to experience is a little stronger. Not to mention that, teenagers are in a different developmental category than kids, and they do think a little deeper about things and feel a little harder. And right now that's really rough on them because COVID has been rough on everyone.
Oh, it sure has. And I really appreciate that you use the word grief there because honestly, you think of grief and someone passing away. However, you can grieve a lot of things, and grieving, some of the things they've lost with the school being shut down so abruptly, they're grieving that as well. So how can we help them navigate that?
Thing that can be particularly difficult for teens, but also is really important, is it's hard for them to talk to adults about what's going on with them. And so as like a parent or a supportive adult in their life, really taking the time to ask them how they're doing and listen to their feelings, not shut them down or anything like that, and really normalize and validate for them. Just like you're saying, they lost so much, and giving them the opportunity to and space to grieve that, I think, is super important right now.
And also, I know lots of teens are very social. And so there are recent findings out that are saying that teens are very lonely right now.
Yeah, this has been really rough on, most school age kids because they were seeing their friends at school. But teenagers in particular, some of the statistics that are coming out now they are disturbing to us as mental health professionals and as parents and things like that. Over 60% of them say that COVID has made them feel lonely. 7 out of 10 of them feel like they're having mental health struggles now, and that's a big increase from anything that we had measured prior to COVID. And so I think that's where, especially with parents, it can be real tricky because social media is one of those things that, when it's too much, it's really too much. And especially right now when it can get real overwhelming or negative or things like that. But trying not to cut your teen off of too much connectivity with their friends and stuff, because that is kind of the only way that they're able to connect with people right now.
Yeah.
And so that can be kind of a rough balancing act for parents.
Let's talk a little bit about Rhodes Wellness and the services that you provide there to help navigate mental health, whether it be for a teen or an adult or a parent who's dealing with a teen who is experiencing some anxiety or loneliness.
I'm really glad that you brought that up, Heather, because all three of those categories are people who would really benefit from coming in and talking to someone, because parents sometimes, especially when they're trying to put their feelings aside for, to be strong for their kids, they don't really get the opportunity to process how difficult this has been for them. And, everybody knows parenting got a whole lot harder a few months back, and so having the space to come in and talk to someone, a counselor that is there for you and just meets you exactly where you're at, they're an objective person. That's the kind of thing that can help anybody who's been affected by COVID right now. And we really have, we have had a lot of calls, just like you're saying, of people who are like, I just graduated from school. What am I supposed to do now? People just feel lost a little bit right now. And so we've got a lot of different services. We have a huge slew of excellent individual therapists, but we also do family counseling, couples counseling, children, adults, and things like that. We have nurse practitioners. So we can really treat the whole person and at any age group.
Well, there you go. Well, we appreciate those services that you offer, and we encourage people at home that if they have a teen who's experiencing these things, or maybe you're not sure, just start that conversation. And if you need some extra help from our friends at Rhodes Wellness, to reach out to you all there. You've got 2 different locations.
Actually, we're opening a third near campus just 1 month from now. So we've got a Danville location, a Champaign over in the southwest at the Crossing location. We're going to have a really convenient University Avenue location as well. So we're trying to make ourselves as accessible to the community as possible.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, best of luck as you start that new office here on campus. And we appreciate your time today, Carrie.
Thank you, Heather.
There's a look at the Two Rhodes Wellness Facebook page as well as their website, and we will connect everyone to them after today's show at ciLiving.tv.